Hello and welcome to another episode of A Coffee with Chris, the social media show that helps you create impact. As always, brought to you in association with our charity partners, Big C, who help local people affected by cancer, and Blue Bear Coffee, replacing your business coffee to help children that have experienced human trafficking. Today, I have had copious amounts of their China cacao blend, so much so that I'm not actually drinking it on camera for once because I've had too much. Big up Blue Bear. And of course, as always, this show is proudly sponsored by Oliver Hill of Hill Coaching Company, Callum Howard from Limitless Film and Media, Gemma from Mindset HR, and Simon Wingfield of Wingfield Consultants. Now, that's enough of the formalities. Let's get into today's conversation. I'm super excited, apart from his background, to welcome the founder of Ginger Pickle, Tony Southgate. Ginger Pickle, for those of you that don't know these guys, are an integrated marketing agency based in Norwich, a team of marketers growing brands, generating leads and revenue, and addressing business challenges all through great marketing. Tony, welcome to the show. Let's kick off, as always, with the why. Why do businesses need to commit more time, energy, and investment on Google Ads?
Straight in there, no hanging about. Well, Google Ads is an obvious place to go. Google as a search engine is the most popular search engine within the UK. They have around about 90% of the total search market share. So if you want to be found when people are searching for the products and services that you offer, it's definitely an obvious place to go. There's the use of SEO, which you can do with the website and make sure that you improve your visibility for certain search terms around your products and services. Some of these things can take time to build authority, whereas with Google Ads, you've got the opportunity to be able to start spending straight away, but also start sending traffic to your website. And that traffic can be super specific as well. So being able to target people based on very particular things that they're searching for relating to your products and services will allow you to send the right traffic and people that are ready to buy, which is a really important thing as well.
I love that, Tony. It's a great place to start. Thank you so much. We had Marcus Hemsley from Fountain Partnership on the show when we first started, actually. And one of his go-to sayings is, it's all about filling up someone's digital universe, right? And I can testify to that with yourselves, because obviously doing the research for this show, I've gone on the Ginger Pickle website and all of a sudden my digital universe is being filled up with the ginger pickleness, which just shows how impactful it can be. Tony, one of the, I think, challenges / stigmas with Google Ads, especially for SMEs, is that they feel like, you know, they're searching something on Google, they see all of the big brands, and they're like, what, like, surely I'm just kind of, you know, hitting and hoping, to use a football analogy. It seems like they can't really cut through and compete with those big brands. I know that you strongly disagree with that, right? So I'm really looking forward to hearing from you. How can those SMEs, those kind of more local businesses, how can they cut through that big brand noise on Google Ads?
A huge thing is around leaning on the fact that you're local, and Google loves local businesses because it understands from its very own data that when people are looking to purchase a product or service, if they can, they like to do it locally. They know this through location services, and the fact that when someone has completed a search for a particular product or service, they can then track that user to actually going to a business premises and understand that that is the journey that they've taken. So because of that, whenever possible, Google does like to prioritize, especially bricks and mortar locations. So if you're searching for restaurants near me, for example, estate agents near me, solicitors near me, all of those kind of terms with a local intent or with a location like Ipswich or Norwich, then Google will return a certain set of results, which includes a Google business profile. So these are the map results. There used to be 7 of them. They're now 3. But those map results are all of local businesses and bricks and mortar and premises that are close to you. So all the signals coming from Google is, well, if I can put a local business there, I would like to. Now, much like SEO, Google is still looking to make sure that within Google Ads, it delivers the most relevant result. And one of the most relevant results, especially if someone searches near me or uses a modifier like a location, is a local business. So making sure that you're leaning on your locality, the fact that you can reach and attract people that are searching for what you do near you, is one of the ways that you're going to help to win over those big businesses.
Really interesting stuff there, Tony, actually. We have had a comment from James Blower live, and it was only a case of a matter of time, really, for the Norwich-based business crew to comment. I can't believe you're allowing that background, Chris. Look, it's okay. Tony's a good guy. He's been vetted heavily, and he does a lot of good work, James, so you'll have to forgive him. And those of you that are listening in on audio will have not realised that Tony is donning I won't say fantastic, is donning an Ipswich shirt behind him. So yeah, there's a bit of healthy tension in the air, which is totally fine. Tony,
I know James. He's the chairman at Wroxham Football Club.
Oh, hey!
Wroxham is the Ginger Pickle Arena, so we sponsor the
yes,
ground. He should allow this. He shouldn't be questioning it.
Oh, blimey!
Come on, James. I'm seeing him later. I'll have to have words with him.
So, Tony, you've kind of started with the why. You've kind of made a point around, what local businesses can do to kind of muscle in on kind of the market share with these big brands. But what are the starting steps that you would recommend for those kind of local, SMEs in particular that have yet to start on Google Ads, or maybe taking us through a whistle-stop tour of, how does Ginger Pickle kind of like take a client from A to B, if that makes sense, when it comes to, getting a local business and really kind of taking market share through Google Ads?
Yeah, there's a lot that needs to be done in order to make them successful, which I think is why people like myself and agencies like ours are able to succeed. It's not as simple as going through Google's automated setup process. So I'm kind of telling you what not to do, which is setting up smart campaigns and really leaning on Google's AI and automatic recommendations. These are all the things to avoid, because if you just give all the information to Google and let it do its thing without any kind of control, that's where you're then spending lots without seeing a return. So one of the really important things for us with any kind of Google Ads campaign that we set up is making sure that that business has their infrastructure in place. So by that, I mean a good fast loading website, campaign landing pages, so pages which are specific to those Google ad campaigns, and making sure that they're picking products and services that are related to their budget. So one of the things to avoid is making sure that you don't just say, well, I offer 10 different services and I want to promote them all. You're not going to have the budget in order to do it. Your budget will get spread too thinly. The platform will never gather enough data on each one of those services, and so won't be able to use machine learning properly in order to optimize the campaign. And the person who is managing it isn't going to be able to understand what is and isn't working in order to then be able to optimize it. So one of the things is to make sure that you focus on one of your priority services. So this could be something that either you're looking to sell more of in the next 6 to 12 months, or it's something which is your best seller or your most profitable thing, the thing that you're really known for, and really focus your marketing spend on that one area. Then when you get that right, that's when you can then look to scale and move into other areas.
Great advice, Tony. Such good advice. I love that. That totally makes sense to me, because the stuff that I see, and we are going to get into a question that's linked to this later on in this conversation, actually. But from what I see, people just seem to be spreading themselves way too thinly, talking about something so generic that they're never going to truly cut through. So I think that's some real stellar advice.
And that's the thing with relevance as well. So like I touched on earlier with SEO, Google wants to deliver the most relevant result. It wants to do the same with ads. And if you're not delivering people to a relevant landing page after you've bid on a particular search term, or if your ad copy isn't relating to the search term that you're bidding on, that's going to negatively affect something called quality score, which is going to increase your cost of Google Ads as well.
Just something on, this isn't in our planned questions, Tony, so good luck. Here we go. Ready? Google ad copy, talk to me, because the stuff I see sucks. Obviously, we specialize in organic social that creates impact, right? So we're all about organic social. We're so passionate about copy and, grabbing attention and making sure it's engaging and pushing people further through that sales journey. But the stuff I see on paid ads is so naff. Like, it just seems so unengaging. Like, is it fair to say that they should apply lots of the learning around what works organically into their Google ad copy too? Is that fair to say?
Yeah, I think in a lot of cases that is fair to say. I think where people really struggle is you when you come to set up a campaign, you can have multiple headlines, multiple descriptions, and they're served dynamically. So what the platform is looking to do is pick the headline and the description that it thinks is most relevant to the search. But if you are just filling out headlines for the sake of filling out headlines, if your descriptions aren't really matching the search terms that you're bidding on, it can then start to throw up combinations that don't particularly work, don't read well, and have the opposite effect to attracting people in, that they're going to see it and think, well, that seems a bit naff, and they're not going to want to click the ad. Even worse, if they do see it, they click it and they hit a landing page which they're turned off by and don't convert, because then you've paid for that attention. But yeah, it's a real art form, and it's something which has changed a lot. So the responsive search ads that we use now, that never used to be the case. You didn't have responsive search ads. Google flipped it over, then they kept them for a while, and now they're just totally done away with. So being able to pick 10 to 15 relevant headlines, 3 to 5 descriptions, which are really matching that intent of the search is quite an art form, and people that do write the ad copy are very talented at it.
At least the good people are, anyway. There are some shockers out there. There really are.
Yeah. I tell you what, the copywriters, people that have got copywriting skills, write the best copy, the best ads.
It's so important, isn't it? I think everyone focuses very much on the technical, geeky stuff, but they forget about the content creation, the media attached with the ad. I know that one of the things you posted on LinkedIn the other day was about using effective media and then repurposing that from your organic into your Google ads, into your paid social ads, etc., which is really interesting. Anyway, that's another conversation. I'm getting carried away. It's what I do. Tony, this podcast is a social media show, right? So I'm really intrigued to kind of delve more into how you think the optimal relationship should be between Google ads and social media, especially when in many circumstances people are now searching on social first, right? So I'm really interested to get your take on that.
Yeah, there was a very interesting stat that came out, must have been 2 years or so ago, that Gen Z were now searching more on TikTok than they were Google. This was some information that actually came out from an exec at Google and was based on a survey of Google employees. And I think it needs to be taken with a little bit of a pinch of salt, in that Google has the monopoly in the market, and what Google wants people to think is that it doesn't have the monopoly because it doesn't want to be broken up. So Google will quite like to release stats like this, which don't have any data or basis behind them. Having said that, and playing devil's advocate, I think the behavior of the younger generation, so Gen Z, I call Gen Z and get told off for multiple times in the office, those are the people which are using social media to search for things. And I think it's very common now for people to go to TikTok in order to look for restaurant recommendations and food in Norwich, or if they're looking to go on holiday to a particular place, some of the best places to stay. Now, interestingly enough, we're starting to see some of this content being pulled through into the organic search results of Google, and Google is using this in order to make its search results page better. I think that at some point, that kind of content creation might form part of people's SEO strategy in order to try and pick up some of those things. And then, of course, off the back of that, if Google can create an interest and an audience around these kind of subjects, it's then going to want to monetize it. And that is where the likes of Google Ads is going to come in. And you're going to be able to get those positions organically, or you're going to be able to pay for them. For the here and now, the biggest part that it plays is around building a community, building a brand, and helping people understand of who you are, what you do, and why you do it. So years ago, from a Google Ads perspective, you could quite happily run a Google Ads campaign as your whole strategy, and that would be enough in order to win business. That's not enough anymore. When people are searching for the products and services that businesses offer, if they already know the brand, which is in one of those Google Ads positions, they're going to have an affinity to that brand. They're going to be more likely to click on that brand's result and go through to their website. And they're more likely then to make contact with them or buy that product or service. They're also going to be less price sensitive as well. So there's a really nice study that was done by 𝗖𝗵𝗿𝗶𝘀 and Peter Field, It's called The Long and the Short of It, which looks at sales activation activities versus long-term branding activities and what drives the better results over time. And it's brand, and brand wins every time. And of course, if you know, like, and love a brand, you're willing to spend more on that brand. So if you are, my advice now, if you are going to run Google Ads campaigns, yeah, definitely do it. It's a great thing to do, but don't do it as your only tactic. It needs to form part of a wider strategy, and a big focus of that strategy needs to be on brand building, and social is a great place to do that.
Yeah, so with you, obviously, I would be with you. Actually, you really spoke to me with both of those examples, actually. I never thought I would be searching on social first, which sounds really strange, obviously, given that I'm in social media, but I've always been a Googler. And I just thought, there's no way I'm heading over to TikTok to pick a blooming holiday. No way. And now I am.
Yeah.
I'm searching on TikTok first. I'm searching on YouTube, which I'm sure you've got a really interesting opinion on regarding the ranking of that social and Google ads and paid ads and things. It's almost like, would you say, Tony, a fair statement is people are searching on social first to feel the brand, to almost trust the brand, and then when they're ready to purchase, that's when the Google ads really come into play and are really quite powerful. Is that a fair statement to make?
Yeah, you've nailed it. I don't think I've really added anything to that.
Well,
there's a really good study which is done by Google. It's called the Messy Middle, where traditionally we've looked at consumer purchase journeys of going through a funnel. And yes, there is the awareness. Yes, there is the consideration. Yes, there is the intent. But actually the touch points on someone going through to a purchase, and we see this in Google Analytics all the time, is multiple. And it can be going through organic social media, paid social media, Google ads, email, organic search. These are all the things and all the touch points that people go through in order to feel like they're making an informed decision. And I think it's those brands that are with that consumer for the most touch points that is going to be the one that wins at the end.
I'm so with you on that. I'm so with you. This is exactly why we have trusted partners in various different areas of specialisms, and that kind of digital marketing sphere, if you like. It's so important. I'm delighted that we're on the same wavelength, Tony. I'm going to open up to you now, maybe an opportunity where you're probably going to rant, possibly. On our YouTube thumbnail for this episode, we've got Google ad fads and fire, right? So what I want from you now, Tony, is what are fads, right? What is really sucking in terms of Google ads, just so people can avoid doing it? And also, what's the fire? What's working really well for businesses right now on Google ads?
It's AI and automation. So Google offers a full setup process where it will write all your headlines, write your ad copy, can even pick the keywords to bid on from your landing page. And it's something which in principle should work really well, but with any kind of AI, machine learning, generative AI, whatever you would like to call it, the output is only ever as good as the input. And if your input isn't spot on in those areas, then what it throws out is just terrible. So, beyond ChatGPT, where you can give proper engineered prompts and you can give more direction and get better outputs, if you're relying purely on Google Ads to do that, you're not going to get very good results. It's going to be a terrible output. The other thing that they've started doing as well, which I find really weird because it's a contradiction of what they want in SEO, is being able to create AI images. And so the images that go alongside search ads that we now see there, the images that can be used in things like Performance Max, they can be generated by AI. And I think the problem with AI images, and this will be a long-standing problem, is when we see one, we can kind of tell that it's AI and we don't kind of trust it. And trust in marketing is so important. And if you don't have that trust, and if someone is a bit suspicious over something, then they're less likely to buy from you. So I think those are the two things that Google's really pushing at the moment, where we've seen it being used and being done, and we've tested outputs. And like I said a little while ago, you can't beat a copywriter to write ad copy and descriptions. They're always going to do a much better job. Well, I say always. I could be corrected on that at some point. Right now, they will do a much better job than what you get from AI.
Yeah, I'm so with you on both of those kind of Google ad fads, Tony, actually. And actually, that really applies to organic social as well. once a wise drunk man said to me on Prince of Wales Road, if you think it's a trick, it's a trick. And when you're going in to do a Google ad, right, and you're like, oh, this is really easy. Yeah, just one button and everything's done for you and off we go. Then obviously it's not going to churn out the results that you desire. And likewise with your ad copy. And likewise, the other end is your point around AI imagery, Tony, right? Because if you're looking at it going, is that real or is it AI? You just lose the trust, and it's so damaging for brands. So some great fads there, Tony, some things to avoid. I'm also aligned with you, not that it matters if I'm not, of course, because we're always happy to positively challenge here on A Coffee with Chris. But I do think AI will get there. It's just that right now, the prompt engineering skill level is so low. It's quite poor, actually. So the stuff that it's churning out for people is a big red flag. Let's talk about the fire, Tony. What's working really well on Google Ads right now for just in general, and perhaps also some of your clients or even yourself, Tony?
Yeah, we've seen a real turnaround on Google Shopping. So a couple of years ago, Google released a new product called Performance Max, which is a lot to do with this machine learning, AI generated. You feed it a load of information, so images, ad copy, keywords, targeting of demographics. It goes across all of their platforms, so it can be served in search, Discover, YouTube, Gmail, and the shopping results. And when they first released that product, you didn't get a huge amount of control over it and didn't really understand where the placements were being served and all of these things. But it worked, and it's something which worked really well at the beginning. I think as more and more people are using it and Google's trying to sell up that inventory, we're seeing less and less performance from it. And so what tended to happen with our e-commerce clients is we moved them from standard shopping campaigns over to Performance Max. Then Google have made a change in the priorities of how they serve campaigns. So they used to give all the priority to Performance Max. So if you had a Performance Max and a shopping, majority of the spend and the action will come through the Performance Max. They've now moved that where it's going to serve the most relevant result. And so it's not necessarily going to be the Performance Max. It could be the shopping. But we have seen a huge turnaround where we've gone from running loads of shopping campaigns to Performance Max. And now we're switching people back to shopping because that's where we're seeing the real results. And for anyone that's sitting there going, well, what the hell is Google Shopping? If you search for a product on Google, so if you search Adidas trainers or Ipswich Town shirt, for example, you'd get some results across the top with images, a little description and a price. Those are the Google Shopping results. There's also a tab for it as well. So that is the thing where we're seeing some of the best performance right now.
That's amazing, Tony. I think that actually just really speaks volumes about kind of your approach to marketing and actually how you need to be agile and how things can change really quickly. And we're like that with organic social as well. Something that worked 2 months ago, even 1 month ago, might not work anymore. And so, your ability to switch from one to the other and back to the other is a testament to just how good Ginger Pickle are. Tony, where can people do business with you? And also maybe an opportunity for you to plug an upcoming event.
Yes, thank you for that opportunity. We are gingerpicklemarketing.com. So our website is probably the best place to find us, or one of our social channels. Fair warning, if you do that, you fall into our remarketing pot audience, and you will be seeing my face a lot telling you, oh, you're seeing this ad because you've been on our website. So fair warning if you do that. Yes, we do have an upcoming event though. So beyond Google Ads, we do also do a lot in social media, especially in advertising. And we are running an event at the forum on the 30th of April called Mastering Meta Ads. This is really geared towards SMEs that have never run meta ads but want to learn how to do it, or have run them previously but maybe not got very good results. We're going to be sharing all of our best practices, the processes that we go through, how we set up campaigns to get the best results for our clients. The event itself is a donation ticket, so you can donate whatever amount you want in order to come along. There'll be networking and pastries at the beginning. Agencies are welcome to come along, but you guys have got to pay £15 for a ticket. Or we are going to stream it live, and you will be able to watch it live on stream for free.
Wicked. So if you like the cut of Tony's jib and you want to go and get some more Tony insights and wisdom, then go along to that event based locally here in Norwich at the Forum. Great venue. Or do check it out online, like Tony's saying. Absolutely brilliant. Tony, thank you so much for coming on Coffee with Chris today. Really appreciate your time.
Thank you, Chris.
And thank you so much to everyone watching this live, watching it back, listening to this live, listening to this back. If you've got any questions on the world of Google Ads, then please do feel free to leave a comment down below wherever you're seeing this. And I'm sure Tony will get back to you with his best advice and support. Thank you, as always, for tuning in. As always, as well, make sure you buy your Blue Bear coffee. Massively impactful local brand that's doing some incredible work regarding human trafficking, incentivizing, etc., de-incentivizing, I should say. And also, please do support Big C, our local cancer charity. Thank you so much, and I'll see you